Hello everybody! Today we're going to be doing some more of the Subarashiki Hibi playthrough. Now, last time was actually really quite something because we had seen, to be fair, not the most happened last episode, but at the same time we did see some key developments in obviously Ayana and more aspects to her that I don't think I've ever seen before. Just firstly the mind control and secondly the manipulation, but also this really odd argument with Ayana, Takuji and Kagami out of all people. And so what was firstly really weird about this was the fact that it was as if, oh yeah, obviously Takuji being a complete sadist and wanting to make it so that everybody's life was as awful as possible. Beforehand we saw the tragedy from the perspective of somebody who wasn't informed, and obviously how ridiculous it was just because of the fact that Yuki is intelligent. And obviously, as you could tell from that, we saw it from Yuki's perspective. But now, it's funny to see all of the victims' views that the mastermind has, really. Because let's be honest, I mean, to be fair, that is actually a little bit of a debatable question. Is Takuji really the mastermind in this? I mean, could you argue that Ayana is the mastermind and Takuji's just being forced to be, I don't know, the human mastermind? It's actually kind of hard to tell. Isn't that so funny that Yuki totally cowered away from school? It's typical. It really is. Yeah, isn't this funny? This was so interesting, seeing the ridiculous amount of distress everything had given the victims. And, well, let's be honest, yeah, the victims of the abusive texts. Well, not text, sorry, mail messages. That's really weird what Ayana was saying about boundaries, though, and I wonder how it connects. Yeah. Yeah, but that's actually really interesting to think about the fact that firstly, I mean, Kagami did this, but secondly, she was thinking that we were planning on doing something awful to Tsukasa. No, we weren't. We had no intention of doing so whatsoever. Paranoia, that implies, if you ask me, and I really wonder why. It's unusual, that. Ah, yes, I want to do something awful to somebody, but I don't even know the name of them. Well, to be fair, that's a perfectly realistic scenario, but no. I mean, true, obviously, Takuji definitely does think that Tsukasa's evil and Tsukasa has something that she is hiding. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that Takuji feels as if, oh, I don't know, as if he is somebody who wants to hurt Tsukasa. But then again, though, I mean, he does consider all of the people who have played a part in... I'm not even going to finish that sentence because I was about to make the most ridiculous argument. I think I was going to make a really ridiculous argument, and then I was going to think, just hang on, think about what you're saying. Yeah, but that is actually really interesting. I mean, the creator, I think that's obviously Ayana or Rirudu. Depends on which one you want to assign to the creator. To be fair, I think it could be both, and I think it is both, of course. I mean, they are the same person, but I wonder which personality is more responsible. I just find it so weird to think about the fact that Ayana is Rirudu, and yet they are completely different people. I don't get that whatsoever. I really don't. Yeah, but this is odd. If the creator is evil, then the creation must be evil as well. I mean, why is she necessarily... Well, she isn't evil, I don't think so, and if anything, she is the person who thinks that Takuji's evil. It's just, obviously, interpretation. I like that. Yeah, but that is interesting as well, yeah. That's significant. Really shows her views of Ayana. I'd assume that's sort of like a metaphor for well, not really a metaphor, but some sort of reference to what Japanese people do if they give up. I don't know. But to be fair, actually, wait, hang on a second. Whenever he put his hand on his chest, he'd say anshin 3 times. In other words, relax. That's something that his mother taught him to do. Maybe that could be what's referring. I just find this so funny, though. And this, if you ask me, is the most significant part of this. You don't know anything. Yeah, and isn't that funny? You're running away from the truth in which you have forgotten. You know a truth, some weird-ass truth that is unexplainable at the moment, but you are constantly... Your thinking is constantly deviating away from that truth. And what is... Could deviating be a right word to use? I think it could be. Because, I mean, the standard deviation I've learned about is getting a set of data and seeing how spread from the mean it is. And obviously, if there's a higher standard deviation, it's more spread out from the mean, and there's more of a range to the data that you're analysing, really. So I suppose it could be similar. I love that. You don't know anything, but you act like you're knowing it at all. Yeah, status. Yeah, status in a closed mind. I see that. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Hmm. That's actually really unusual, though. The monster is what you've created. Maybe if Zakudou had never suicided and there had never been that group suicide because of Takuji's incompetence, Takuji would have then never been reborn, and then none of this would have ever happened. Quote unquote reborn, can I just mention that? Because isn't it funny to think about the fact that Ayana only appears when there are signs of tragedy and delusion? If Takuji prevented all of this, sure, he wouldn't have... None of this would have happened. So I can see why she thinks that we've potentially created it. God, I love how just stone cold and neutral Ayana is. No emotion. Higurashi spoiler, but she is literally the Subarashiki Hibi equivalent of the mature Rika. Seriously. Or the burn-like Rika. Depends what you... Oh shit, I just spoiled something else. Yeah, but that is weird. It just shows how much status she has. Yeah, totally. Who isn't afraid of Ayana, let's be honest. Yeah, interesting that. But the only thing that's really weird is it's as if there is an illusion that is keeping Kagami alive. No, but that's actually really weird. So, when it's realised that Kagami... Well, when Kagami goes from somebody dismembered, well, from somebody who has all of arm sockets and leg sockets pulled out to a bunny rabbit plushie, that's probably when Takuji has found the truth. So that gives us a little indication of what happens. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm a bit scared of what's going to happen to Kagami, if I'm going to be honest. I like that, yeah. That's really unusual. Yeah, that's odd. That is odd as well. Maybe Ayana is somehow depending... Kagami is somehow depending on Ayana to stay alive? It's hard to tell. God, she is totally trolling us. I think that's hilarious. She is she is refusing us to give us an answer in the most brutal and, let's be honest, obnoxious way. That's interesting. So if there was no mystery, maybe when she says a boring life, that implies normality. So maybe if you strip all the mystery off Subahibi, everything will become normal. Yeah, but that's weird. No, but I kind of see when Ayana is saying that people must be silent here. I mean, if you ask me, that kind of says that well, silent as in maybe not inquiring about the truth, not inquiring about learning the things you have forgotten, and obviously learning the things, trying to find the truth of whatever the world is, the truth that when found may make Kagami's existence completely redundant. Well, not really redundant, but unnecessary. That's really unusual. Basically, if Takuji doesn't find the truth that is keeping the lack of knowledge of is keeping her alive. But how does that work, though? How is that even possible? Yeah, but that's really weird. You've got to be silent so that nothing changes because of the fact that I think this is just metaphorically saying that anything can easily be a change, and it can easily change reality as a whole, really. That's really weird. An existence before existence? But that's really weird. Oh, wait, hang on a second. I wonder if that references the stages of the dialectical thinking that we were thinking about. So, I mean, maybe this is when you knew the truth that you had forgotten. Maybe that kind of applies to Kagami as well. The fact that she knew a truth and then she has completely forgotten it somehow, and now she's trying to somehow, at the end of the game, she will be able to see the truth that she has known and yet has forgotten somehow. Hang on, I just need to... Yeah, but that is really interesting. Yeah, what could you hope to feel when you find out the truth that you have potentially been, maybe that you've been forgetting all this time? But the only thing is that kind of implies that Kagami is going through the same problem as Takuji. I don't know if that's right. Yeah, so I suppose stay silent because you never know what could happen. Isn't it interesting that Kagami knows everything? I really do wonder what's happening with her. And Tsukasa, I mean, I don't know if Kagami and Tsukasa have much relation. Maybe Kagami's obviously associated with the supernatural, but what about Tsukasa, I wonder? I really do wonder. Isn't it interesting, though, that when Takuji finds the truth, Tsukasa disappears as well? That's really unusual. I do wonder what this is. And this is unusual as well. I mean, it's kind of implied that everybody goes through this stage. There's a landscape that everybody has seen, and yet they have forgotten, and yet they always spend their life trying to find what it is. But the only thing is, if it's not either of these, what is it? It's both. That's odd. Yeah, no, I can kind of see that, because in episode 2, when we saw all of the end sky, I suppose it was in the infinite landscape that all souls in existence. Well, no, I mean all souls that have been on Earth have found, i.e., the sky. All things on Earth have seen the sky. I'd hope. I mean, to be fair, not everything that is in this earth has seen the sky, but yeah, all of the things that are living, most of them have probably seen the sky. The only thing I'm thinking of is that would obviously restrict access to the sky is, I don't know, for example, really evil scientific experiments, but nothing else. Arrogant little twat. Oh my god. No, I disagree. Everything Ayana says will probably change after I've read this story once. Yeah, that is so interesting. Everyone sit down. Class is starting. Time for fun. I bet you anything this is going to be the scene where he becomes a crazy messiah. Mamiya, why are you still standing? What's wrong? Quit spacing out and sit down. Oh god, now he's going to cause chaos. Do I look like I'm spacing out?
お前成績がものすごく下がってるんだからさ。そうい
I don't
う
think.
バカな問いはやめないか。
I don't think somebody like Takuji would really care about his grades, let's be honest here. Come on, Mamiya, your grades have fallen far enough. Well, fuck it, masturbating's more important. I bet you Takuji would actually think that as well. But to be fair, I mean, I really don't blame Takuji for not wanting to study. He is the one person that I can totally understand as to why he wouldn't want to do school. I really would. I mean, this school has a serious bullying problem. It really does. It's evil.
バカな問いですか。まあいいでしょう。
A stupid question, is it? If you say so.
よし、授業を始めるぞ。
Oh, God.
教科書の67ページ開けてくれ。確かローマ帝国の
Okay, class is starting. Turn to page 67. Today we're covering the Roman
「先生
Mr. Ida.
なんだ、まだ何か用事か。いい加減授業を始めさせてくれないか。
Something wrong? Or would you like to let me start class already?
どうしたマミヤ、トイレか。
Oh, God. Oh, God. What's wrong, Mamiya? Do you need to go to the bathroom?
やはり先生も低俗な人だ。だから対局を見失う。
You really are one of the vulgar people. That's why you can't see the big picture. Yeah, his words of truth. Isn't it interesting just throughout this entire story how much of a ridiculous superiority complex Takuji has? I froze the classroom with my words of truth. Sometimes the truth is taboo, and sometimes... Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, people hate to hear the truth, and that's just going to justify him saying it more because he feels as if people need to be exposed to what they hate. Because reality is harsh. The teacher isn't smiling anymore.
なんか言ったかマミヤ。
Did you say something, Mamiya? Isn't it interesting that he calls him vulgar? He gives, because of the fact that he can't see the big picture, it's as if he has a level of disgust to him. Yeah, I mean he's a history teacher. He studies the past, not the future. You don't even know that it's all about to end. Yeah, but then again, I mean, who would believe a ridiculous conspiracy? Oh wow, events are connected, but I'm sure if the police were to look into what the true cause of the events were, I think you'd find that they weren't connected whatsoever. You don't even know that it is all about to end.
全てが終わる。何を言ってるんだお前。
It's all about to end? What are you going on about now? Your life! That's what you should do. That would be so funny.
例えば、この船が沈みますという時に、先生は悠長にその戦場で古代ローマの歴史でも教えますか?
I really hope they're not going to give us just the entire scene again. For instance, if we were on a sinking ship, would you be standing at the bow reciting facts about the Roman Emperor?
マミヤ、お前何言ってるんだ。
Mamiya, what are you saying?
質問ですよ。質問。船が沈みゆくときに、
I mean, who
先生
would?
はどこか遠くの昔話を生徒たちに話すのですか?
It's a question. A question. Would you be talking about some trivia from thousands of years ago while the ship sank around you? To be honest, if you think about it, all subjects are just trivia but examined. But the only thing is obviously that trivia can then get you a fucking job. And it can make it so that you can do a lot with your life. So it's a bit important than trivia. No, it's trivia, sure, but at the same time it's trivia that's actually relevant to the world we live in. Well, with some subjects. I'm thinking about the subjects I do. They're very relevant. I mean, geography, obviously, that's world relevant. And definitely physics. I think maths is more the concepts that make, well, that make objects that are relevant to us today, I suppose.
Eh, 歴史は昔話ではないし、大体ここは船ではないし、沈みもしない。
I think this is one of the things where you can have any argument and you can turn it to your point. Like, for example, you could... It's just one of those ridiculous arguments. Like, for example, you could make the argument that... I don't know. Oh, people are just parts of an object-orientated program. Or something ridiculous like that. And the world's a simulation. Or maybe... Oh, one of those arguments where you say everything ever is XYZ. Oh, yeah, I suppose every action potentially has a risk and reward if you twist it out of context. And this is kind of a thought pattern I've had, so it's kind of hard to share it, but yeah, I hope you get what I mean. History isn't just trivia, and this isn't a boat, it's a classroom, and it's not sinking. Imagine if there was just some sort of really weird and unexplainable tectonic action that caused the entire school building to, well, not really sink, it would probably doubt it would be able to stay on its foundations. Because of obviously seismic activity. I see, it's not a boat, it's not sinking, and your description of long dead emperors isn't just trivia. What?
ああ、そうだ。それより間宮、何か不満でもあるのか。
That's right. Well, Mamiya, have any more complaints?
不満なんてありませんよ。だって先生は低俗な人ですから。真実が見えないのは当然のことです。
But the only thing is, what I find funny is he is so arrogant and he is so deluded that he feels he has seen the truth. Sure, but he hasn't. He's seen the truth that he obviously feels was right for him to see. But the only thing is, I mean, it's bold of him to say this as well, because he wouldn't have seen the truth if it wasn't for Ayana and Ridudu. And Zakuro in a way.
猫や犬が足し算引き算を理解しないからといって不満に思う人などいないでしょ
After all, no one complains that cats and dogs can't do arithmetic, do they?
間宮、お前大丈夫か？
Mamiya, are you feeling alright?
大丈夫？何を言ってるのですか？まず自分が大丈夫であるかどうかを心配したらどうですか？こんな時にこんなつまらないことをやっているのですから。
Feeling alright? Whatever do you mean? Maybe you should ask that of yourself, the one doing something so meaningless at a time like this.
こんな時につまらないことって。
What do you mean, meaningless?
大体考えてもくださいよ。歴史なんて記述の束は悪魔が世界を10秒前に作り、我々に記憶を植え付けただけのものかもしれないですよ。
そんなわけないだろう。 多くの歴史的な証拠があるのだから。
Really? But what if that historical evidence was planted by the demon? And our memories are obviously all implanted in us. Ah, yes. So possible.
ならば、それも作り物かもしれない。
Exactly, yeah.
悪魔によって偽装されたものかもしれない。
I'm just gonna see if the content that we're looking at is the same. Yes.
作り物かもしれない。
That's good.
悪魔によって偽装されたものかもしれない。
So I think what I'll do for the content that's the same, I'll just skim through it because obviously I've read and interpreted it before. But that's the funny thing about a lot of the dialogue here. It's so ambiguous that even though you're reading it for the second time, you barely understand it, and you can have there's so much more room for additional interpretations, because for example, all of the stuff about the truth here, it makes so much more sense, but it's so interesting because that's the other layer of it, because we always thought that Takuji had found the truth. I always thought that in episode 2 and he was being genuine, but I never realized finding the quote-unquote truth was just a truth that he had made himself, not the objective truth. He is trying to keep his composure, but at the same time he is losing it just a bit. I don't blame him.
Mamiya, お前本当に大丈夫か？どうしたんだ？
あくまでなくても人が都合の良いように解釈しただけのものかもしれませんよ。
Then again, I mean, there is genuine evidence that would obviously disprove rationalizations, but at the same time, I mean, if there is history that is objectively stated somewhere, firstly, evidence could have potentially been modified or tampered. I suppose you've got to have so many sources to back up a single piece of evidence. Because what if, how do you necessarily know evidence is valid? What if there was a genuine intent with evidence like that? I wonder. And if there is history that people think is objectively true that has no evidence whatsoever, of course, it could just be a rationalization. But then again, I mean, it could also be the case that evidence is rationalized, or just for the ease of understanding, or maybe for whatever, whichever motives people may have had at the time.
本当はもっと大事なことが世界にはたくさんあるのかもしれない。それを隠蔽するために誰かが書き換えたのかもしれない。
To be fair, I will always ask the question of how the fuck do the pyramids of Giza exist? And how are they so strong? To be fair, I haven't really researched into it, but it's bloody amazing, the fact that they are. Yeah, but that is interesting. To be fair, it's... You can't prove it whatsoever. Yeah, but no, isn't it really quite funny to think about the fact that this really resonates with Takuji as well? Oh god. So I tried to stop her, my hand happened to touch her. What? No! She was so shocked that she fell to the ground. I'm sorry, no. Are you telling me that Takuji literally put his hand on, I don't know, somewhere on her skin or flesh or whatever, and then she fell just from that? To be fair, if it's in a more sensitive area, I can totally see why, but if it was just, I don't know, on the face or just anywhere that wasn't sensitive, and you're falling to the ground because of that, I mean, god, that really shows a level of fear that is unmatched. Poor girl. Mummy, are you? That's weird. It's as if he kind of sounds like a child there. Someone stood defiantly in front of me. To stand in the face of my holy presence. There aren't very many humans who can do that. Is it Kagami? Yeah, totally, yeah. Look, the rest of them are so scared that they've forgotten to breathe. The person who so bravely stood in front of me must be... Hang on a second. Did we see this in episode 2? I can't remember because I don't remember it. Oh, yep. I love Takuji's sprite. That's so odd. So in episode 2's content is a little bit different here because everything that's... Oh, that's really, really weird. So what happens with Yuki here is she sees the argument with Tsukasa and Kagami in sort of a... Well, I suppose we're seeing the argument that's happening in the class outside of the boundary line. But it's as if everything that has happened, the truth of what has objectively happened, has been twisted. And there has been an equivalent... Shit, what am I doing? Oh, wait, I just got a bit confused. There's been an equivalent inside the boundary. That's so weird. But, yeah. This is my point. Same dialogue. Yeah, that's really weird. Hang on a second, what? So, Yuki's saying the same lines as Kagami here. Oh, that's weird. Why have their roles reversed? Yeah, this is really unusual. But isn't that interesting? Why doesn't Kagami have the right in order to say this here? What's wrong with you? How dare you hit a girl? Of course he'd say something like that. It doesn't matter whether she's a boy or a girl. Unfortunately, somebody like Takuji, I mean, I get the fact that he's not sane, but at the same time, doesn't really excuse the fact that you have hit a girl, let's be honest here. That you're doing this at all. Sitting here and playing along with this farce, when everything is about to end. It's absurd. But the only thing is, obviously, people know that there's danger, but if they let this danger interfere with their lives, especially because they don't know whether the conspiracy is actually true or not, and let's be honest, Takuji acts like he does because he's deranged, but he doesn't truly have proof that the world is going to end on the 20th. Maybe his mother's ideals are going to totally betray him. Got it out, Mamiya. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I just fell because he surprised me. Oh god, that's a bad move. He's not going to apologize. That's like talking to a brick and expecting to get a response. Why would I do that? God, this is getting properly ugly. Mamiya, do you understand what you're saying? Yes! What do you mean the world is ending? I heard a lot of the students have been scared of something lately. Are you the one spreading those rumors? He doesn't even answer the question as well. It means the world is ending, that's all. Yeah, the end of everything. You could call it the final destination. It's no rumor. It's merely the truth. God. You are a weak human being, a small human being, and therefore you cannot even lay eyes on me. Well, because you're that important. Fucking hell. Mamiya, come over here. So you intend to use violence because you can't win with logic? Oh god, what's happening here? Oh, yeah, oh, okay, so... Yeah, reasonable. You're a fucking mental person. No one can understand what had just happened. Yeah, totally. Just that a loud sound echoed through the classroom, and then the teacher fell down, covered in blood. Fucking hell. Yeah, they were too confused to understand that I just... I just struck the teacher with a flower vase. God. Flowers are used not for murder weapons. They're used for storing flowers, dude. Store flowers in them. Don't take advantage of them. Because that's... Oh yeah, that's interesting. They're thinking that the prediction of the murder is here. Email? Yeah. It was different than I had planned. I was intending on making Senagawa bleed. Senagawa? But that's not Senagawa, what? Oh, right. Yeah. Reasonable. Yeah, I intended to make her the sacrifice. Yeah. I just went with the like, Jesus Christ, what? So you accidentally killed somebody in front of everybody? Well, to be fair, I don't think he actually died. It was never told to us, in actual fact, but yeah, I just went with the flow. Yeah, reasonable. I wonder what he's going to do if he has accidentally killed somebody. Yeah, because I never really realised that he was killed. I always thought he was just knocked unconscious. But to be fair, I mean, it's a flower vase. Depending on what that vase is made of, I mean, it sounded like there was a really, really vast shattering sound. So you could only assume the worst, i.e. glass. God, I mean, could you imagine doing that to somebody? And if anything, I find it really funny that Takuji feels as if everybody should be panicking about the end of the world. And yet, and the fact that there is such a disaster that's going on and people were just sitting and continuing with their normal lives, which, yeah, it's just funny that he's criticizing them for continuing their normal lives, and yet he is then the person who is making disaster happen. The prediction was blood will pour from the head. Oh yeah. No. Blood will pour from another head. Blood will flow. Blood will flow again today. Their head will be covered in blood. Yeah, so I don't really understand why. I mean, I suppose, yeah, blood has already flown and it will flow again. But, I mean, you can take this out of context easily. This too was predetermined. God, yeah. I mean, he has quite literally committed murder. I didn't realise how bad this was before. I never realised he committed murder. Yeah. Someone screamed, sending the rest of the class into a panic. What just? Is he dead? Yeah. They made a lot of noise over the collapsed teacher, but no one did anything to me except sneak glances from the corners of their... Oh, yeah, reasonable. Who would? They're too afraid to look at the classroom's new ruler. Yeah. God, I can totally see that. I mean, he has the most power. He really does. Of course he would be. That's such a brutal statement, yeah? But this is the thing. He's ruling over fear. And that is kind of what prophets do. It's diverged quite a lot from my plan. It has, yeah, it's interesting that. But at the same time, I think he was more intending to say with the prediction... Where is it? Yeah. Yeah. Blood will flow again today. So, I mean, it wasn't really the plan, but at the same time it still fits because you can interpret this in a different way. I took the opportunity. You took the dude, you fucking murdered somebody! God, isn't that really quite something? I mean, okay, so to be fair, this is the first person he has actually killed. But the thing is, he has just so casually done something that is so ridiculously awful. I mean, I think taking a life is just... It is probably the most disgusting thing someone can do. I mean, even if it's something that's... Well, to be fair, there are many things worse that you can do than taking a life. But still, it's one of the most disgusting things a human being can do. That point still stands. And yet he has just so casually done it. But that's the scale of how fucking determined he is to become the saviour and to learn the truth. And how selfish and how detached from reality he is. I mean, isn't it funny to think about the fact that he thinks the world revolves around him? He has no concept of getting caught. No concept of the police. Now it is time for the Saviour's sermon. The Saviour's first sermon begins now. It begins. Well, someone's just fucking died. Of course they're scared. What's wrong? You seem awfully scared of something. Isn't that interesting though? The fact that Yuki does all of this dialogue rather than Kagami. I don't understand why, because it's as if Kagami has been... It's just as if she's not been allowed to exist. I mean, it's as if she's been in opposition to Takuji. But then... No, but that's the really weird thing. Kagami would disappear when the truth has been learnt. So I do wonder if Takuji's inadvertently found the truth, maybe? I think that's unlikely, though. We just need to see more of the story, because... And we need to see how the parts involving Kagami in the previous... chapter, how they correspond to this chapter, and also how they change, because it's a tiny bit different this time, and I wonder why. Mamiya Takuji, you son of a... Oh, if it isn't Minakami-san. Well, no, you're only a reasonable human being. It would appear you're no better than the rest of the poor little lambs here. How do you know that? Your heart to stick with fear. You should just stand back and watch in fear, like you've been doing. And then you shall feel the flames of hell licking at your flesh. God, that's a bit scary. What are you gonna hit me? You're gonna bully me, just like Tomosane, Yuki, and the rest of humanity have. Yeah, that is really interesting. I can totally see why he would say that, though, yeah. Yeah, but isn't it interesting that you can just tell that this saviour and ridiculously deluded person who feels as if there is a calamity coming, maybe there is, maybe there isn't, we can't fully tell. He doesn't know whether there is something that's going to happen. Obviously, because Ayana is involved, there will be, but he doesn't fully know it himself, that's my point. So he's basically falsely trusting something, and he's betting every single coin in the fact that it will happen, and he's completely changing himself on the ideal of the fact that it will happen. There is no possibility of the fact that it may not happen and things may not go towards his expectations. Huh? Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, she's just so shocked that she can't even do anything. Mark my words, all ye who quiver in fear. Everyone. Is it though? How do you know? How can you so confidently say that? All life shall end on the 20th. That is the absolute truth. Bullshit. to be fair, I don't necessarily know about Zakudor. But dude, Tsubasa was smoking LSD and he fell off a fucking rooftop. Like, what a genuine idiot. He doesn't exactly sound like someone who would die for a truth. It's so twisted. Death. That is the message of prophecy. Yeah, reasonable. Death. That is the absolute truth. Yeah, I see that. Because it makes people act, and it makes people scared. Why is death the message that leads to prophecy? Oh yeah, that too. I mean, that's just kind of, I was just saying what I'd instinctively think there, but yeah, that makes sense. To be fair, Takuji is kind of just saying in a roundabout way what I wanted to say anyway, but still, it is different. So we must speak of that which is concealed. Yeah. Yeah, isn't it interesting with Ayana as well, everything that was being said? This is entirely an ideal and just a way of thinking that has been adapted from what Ayana thinks. Isn't that funny, the fact that Ayana's ideals are being slowly implanted in his head?
この国のように学校教育が極めて高度に普及し、マスメディアも世界最高基準にまで巨大化している社会では、我々は公教育とマスメディアによって多くの禁忌を植え付けられている。その最大の禁忌とはすなわち死を考えること。我々は死を考えることを置き去りにし、あたかもこの日常が永遠に続くかのごとくに振る舞うことを強制する。
And isn't it really funny to think about just how much? I mean, this is a way to live healthily. And it's just interesting how little he is encouraging that. Well, if anything, he's doing the opposite. He's completely discouraging it. Yeah, I see that. I see that, yeah. Time and death, those are the two things that render a lot of things to be meaningless. Not some things. Especially if they're more influential things that can be remembered. But, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I hate that. I can totally see stuff like this.
だが誰でも知っている事実として死は全てのものに寄り添うもの。死とはリアルそのものである。
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's alive. He's very injured, but he is alive, to be fair. Somebody really needs to get the fuck out of the classroom just to make it so that the teacher can be given first aid or be given an ambulance or just something that would save his life. God, I mean, to be fair, I don't think he's not going to die whatsoever, but still. These people have been really useless, but that's just the extent of their fear. They have forgotten how to be respectful and responsible human beings because of how scared they are. He's okay. Oh God, you're wrong.
何が間違っているのですか?
Yeah. Isn't that interesting, just the fact that he is being challenged by those puny little humans who are way more inferior than him. He's been challenged, so he's getting a kick out of it. What have I said that's wrong? I don't necessarily think you could just belittle what he's saying just to give it one term. I don't really think religious summarizes it whatsoever. I think that's a very real, it's an unhealthy outlook on life, sure, because obviously if you think that death is something that is crawling towards you and it is something that is constantly there and you don't try to live your life as if you are going to live to the next day, then what are you going to do in your life? And it's just an unhealthy way to think. I mean, if you always live in the fear of death, well, to be fair, if you're traumatized, you can't help it. But if you have a choice to live in the fear of death, or traumatized or there's something really bad going on around you, you don't have a choice. But if you do, don't pick that choice because that makes your life awful. This ideal would make a life not worth living because of how much it would corrupt somebody. Did you hear that?
この男は私の考えを宗教じみたと言ったではないか。
This time, just now, this man called my thoughts religious nonsense.
あたかも吉じみたとでも言いたげに。
As if to say I was a madman. That's wrong. I can see what he's thinking though, yeah.
違うものですか。死を考えること。死生学を数千年やってきたのが宗教ではありませんか。
Am I
刑
wrong?
事上学ではございませんか。
Am I wrong? To ponder upon death, has religion not advanced thought on mortality? Yeah, not advanced thought on mortality for the past several thousand years. Has metaphysics not?
つまり宗教じみている。死を考えることは先生にとって気がじみているという意味ではないのですか。
In other words, that which reeks of religion, the action of contemplating deaths, seems to him the action of a madman. Am I wrong? He isn't wrong though, I totally see what he's saying. Well, I mean, I find it interesting to think about the fact that Takuji is so selfish to think about the fact that... I mean, I think calling somebody a madman for having views like these just because of the fact that they do have a religious view and they do... Well, I don't really think it's religious. You don't have to have a religious outlook on something to contemplate death. You don't. But at the same time, I mean, to assume he's mad from what he's saying is wrong. but the way he's saying it and the fact that he's imposing his beliefs on everyone else, and he's literally hit a teacher and well, to be fair, I think the class rep, he couldn't really have done anything about her falling, but he was probably going to assault her, let's be honest here. But yeah, the actions and how he's delivering this information, of course that would make people think he's a madman. And he just doesn't think that because of how consumed he is with his ideals, really. Hmm.
違う。お前は狂信者のみたいじゃないか。
To be honest, I think he's going a little bit too far.
はて、これはキーなことをおっしゃります。私のどんな考えが狂ったように感じられるのですか？
知らん。だが。
Yeah, he should just stop talking. He's only talking out of nervous instinct now.
私からしたら、あなたこそ常識というくだらない競技を狂ったように信じているみたいに見えますよ。
なんだそれは。
自分が理解できないものに今日のレッテルを貼らずにはいられない。
Yeah, he's got
自
a,
分
he
が
has a
信じ
point
る
there,
常
to
識
be
が
fair.
覆るような考えはすべて狂っている人間の仕業。
そんなものは飛躍だ。間宮貴様。
I mean, I do totally see what Takuji is saying, and I'm going to be honest, I think Ida's being just a little bit unreasonable in a situation like this, because he's just acting on fear. He's not actually providing reasonable input into this conversation. I mean, it's obviously very hard to, but what I'm trying to say is that there's nothing he's going to get out of it. And if anything, I don't think he's showing his students a very good example of how to deal with something like this. But then again, that's the thing. Like the students, he is in genuine fear and he feels threatened because he's nearly had his life taken away from him. Of course he can't show an example, I don't know why I said that. But, yeah, I think it's just better for him not to talk. Just wait for Takuji to finish.
頼む。誰か担任の先生を連れてきてくれ。誰か。
God, yeah. And it really, really is quite something if a teacher is this scared of a student. It's scary. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
現代社会は死を写生したところに存在し、死をタブー視する社会である。それが正しいなどと思うのは考える体を持ち合わせていない奴隷の言葉だ。なぜならば前近代において 死は最も重大な施策の対象であったではないか。死こそ施策の最大の関心事ではなかったか。にもかかわらず近代に成立した政治社会思想はあたかも我々には無縁の事態がごとく振る舞った。黙れ。
Shut up. Oh, it's Kagami. Oh no, it's Yuki. It sounded like Kagami.
黙れ。
No, she didn't. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Kagami, again, is not here. Why? Is it maybe because in this story, Kagami's... Beforehand, she was inside the barrier, whereas in this story, it's as if Kagami is outside of the barrier. Isn't it funny, now that I think about it, whenever I see Kagami and Tsukasa, they're always outside of the barrier. There's always nobody around them. Oh, shit. I really wonder if that's significant. Right, I'm going to hang on to that thought because I feel like I'm getting somewhere with this. Yeah, but then how do I reason? How do I reason anything else? What does that tell us? How is it the case that Kagami got outside of the barrier and Tsukasa as well? I'm a bit stuck. I'm finding it kind of hard to picture this. So people who have had not the capacity to think and enjoy life and live a life, let's be honest here. I mean, people who have probably experienced the worst of humanity, or one of the worst parts of humanity. I'm not really sure. No one cares about that cryptic bullshit.
意味不明なこと言うな。意味不明？
Cryptic bullshit?
ああ、そうよ。あんたが言うことなど理解できないしする気もないけど、これだけは言えるわね。
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't think I want to, but I will say this.
あんたは二人の死に自分勝手な意味を与えている。
Exactly, yeah, you're labeling their deaths with your own selfish reasoning. Yeah.
自分勝手とは？
Selfish, you say?
へりくつという意味。全然デタラメだと言ってんのよ。
Yep, and I remember that exact line coming from Kagami's mouth. It's sophistry, it's complete nonsense.
世の中が死を隠してるというご考説は、まあどっかで聞いたことあるような話だからいいとしても、それと二人の死が何か表しているというのは飛躍以外の何者でもない。
I've heard that theory about society covering up death before. Let's say you're right about that one. Even then, what you're saying about those two deaths signifying something is nothing but fabrication. I just find it so weird to think about the fact that the same people, well, she is saying exactly the same things as Kagami is. I really do wonder if there is some sort of set behaviours or set scripts that characters somehow follow that are set by Ayana. And maybe Ayana controls everything that goes on in the world. It's really hard to tell. I mean, I just don't understand why different people can say the exact same thing. I mean, if that doesn't indicate that there's more to this plot than we know, I don't know what does. Yeah, all you're doing is appealing to cognitive bias.
Bias?
Yeah, fair enough.
目についた印象的なものの頻度を
実際よりも高く評価しているに過ぎない。
We just overestimate the frequency of events that affect us emotionally.
確かに2人連続で転落死は珍しいことかもしれない。でも
Yeah, she's
それ
totally
以外
figured
の
this
ことに
out.
関しては別段不思議でも何でもない。
It's true, it is strange for two people to fall to their deaths in a row, but their deaths aren't related to anything else.
必要以上に意味を見出して特殊性をあんた自身があぶり出そうとしているだけだ。
You're just trying to find meaning where there is none.
なるほど。さすが知恵と知識を与えられたものだ。
I expect
そう
no
でなくては
less.
ね。
Yeah, but isn't it interesting? We never saw this line when we were talking about Kagami. I think when Kagami had the argument with Takuji, at the end of it, I think, if I remember correctly, he just bolted out and he was never to be seen again. Takuji had left the server. Oh wait, no, so nobody interrupts his speech, what? Yeah, Kagami does say that though, never mind. Yeah, funny that. He never says that about Kagami. Yeah.
褒められたって嬉しくないね。
Yeah, fair enough. Who would want compliments from somebody like this? Let's be honest here. I don't need your
君は
compliments.
こう言いたいのであろう。僕が示した彼らの死の意味。それが真なる命題であることを。それを実証しろと。
Suppose this is what you're trying to say. You want me to show you proof that the meaning I've claimed for their deaths is voracious. What does voracious mean? I've not heard of that one before. Oh shit, why is my desktop showing? Oh right, speaking or representing the truth. Oh, I understand why it's showing. Oh, that's annoying. Hmm.
は？実証？そんなこと言ってないでしょ。私が言ってるのは、単にあんたの言ってることがデタラメだってことで。
God, yeah, proof. Are you stupid? There's nothing you could show us that would prove that. After all, no matter how you look at it, you're just spouting nonsense.
君は嘘科学と科学をどう判別できると思う？
Did he say usogaku? Usokagaku.
君は嘘科学と科学をどう
Yeah, usokagaku. I like that. Just pseudoscience or lie science. Did you know how we differentiate between science and
嘘
charlatanry?
科学と科学だって。
Science and charlatanry, that's...
そう。ペテント真理をどう判別するかだよ。
Yes. How would one differentiate science from pseudoscience? She was silent. Of course. The problem of differentiating between science and pseudoscience still hasn't been completely solved. I can see that, yeah. It's still a fuzzy line, even to the experts. But then again, this is coming in the perspective from fucking Takuji. Of course he is going to be saying things that are completely complementing his viewpoint. I'll see if I can find anything on the internet. I'll see what happens. God. Yeah, look at this. Yep. Yeah, isn't that interesting? That's totally what Takuji's is, if you ask me. It is anecdotal, though, and it's unreliable, it's prone to bias, and I suppose it's untestable. Of course it's untestable, it's just a belief. It's just philosophical thought. So I do wonder if you could technically say that all philosophy is pseudoscience. Because, I mean, I suppose only the philosophy that hasn't contributed to science, the philosophy that is more just a way of thinking. Because I suppose even if you base it, to be fair, this is really, really up to interpretation, but if you base it on real fact, and if you base it on things that have objectively happened, what you were saying may still be anecdotal, it may still be biased, it may be obviously susceptible to your own interpretation. But then again, I mean, obviously, you don't necessarily have to have this response to criticism. And also, philosophy may not be for the intent of promoting a particular ideology. I mean, some people may just put their philosophical thoughts out there because they want to get the input of other people. I just felt like doing that, I don't know why. I suppose philosophy could be untestable. Yeah, that is interesting. Since she knows that, she has no choice but to be silent. And I totally disagree with stuff like this because, I mean, if... I just don't... Actually, I don't really know. I'm not really informed enough to say. But the thing is, with scientific discoveries, they are formed with countless hypotheses, countless testings, countless stages. I mean, let's take pharmaceuticals, for example. I mean, there are so many stages of clinical trials that they go through and so many tests. I mean, they test on animals, on humans, on patients, on, well, I suppose on people. Once the drugs have been finished, they are tested on the people who are given the drugs. And I suppose that optimizations are then made from the product that... I mean, the product is good, and it is good enough and safe enough to be sold to humans, but at the same time, it's not as optimal as it could be, and then they probably release new versions just based on that. And obviously, double blind trials even. Not double bluff, I don't think. But you get what I mean, hopefully. There's a lot of stuff. There really is. She's in a dilemma because she has as much knowledge and wisdom as I do. It's annoying how idiots tend to make flippant remarks in situations like these.
ペテント真理の差。それは新規な予言があるかどうかだよ。
Yeah, no, oh yeah, no, I see that, yeah. The difference between science and pseudoscience lies in whether or not the theory makes novel predictions. Actually, I disagree. Let's take, for example, the Webbot... No... Yeah, let's take the Webbot project, because that predicts the end of the world. It makes predictions that are new, sure, but at the same time, where's the evidence that's supported a potential end of the world? And if there is an end of the world occurring, then why isn't it the case that the entirety of the media and the world and science is in uproar? Well, to be fair, maybe it's something that that can't be predicted by science. I mean, yeah, of course, but I'm saying that if it can't be predicted by science, how can it be predicted by just one teenager or whoever's working on the Webbot project? Or maybe... Well, how could it have been? With the White Lotus Association, how could it have been predicted by the manager? What is the story of the prediction? Why did Takuji's mum swear by it so much, I wonder? I really do. Just wanna... All you're doing is trying to twist interpretations to make it so that they share the same bias as you, really. Totally.
確かに2人連続で転落死は珍しいことかもしれない。でもそれ以外のことに関しては別段不思議でも何でもない。
But yeah, how could you prove? Well, how could you? I don't really understand. Even this prediction of the end of the world. The only problem is, it is true, but at the same time, does the true prediction prove the fact that this theory and this interpretation on the negligence of death that people have, is that really proved by the fact that the prediction is proved? No! I mean, it's an interpretation. You're saying something subjective is objective. I mean, that in itself is ridiculous, no matter what you look at. Especially because pseudoscience can give fact and prediction in a coincidental setting. Well, maybe not now. Maybe... I don't know. I'm just thinking of maybe people corrupting with evidence and then finding something from that. I don't know. I don't really know why I said that, to be honest. That's just complete crap.
新規な予言。よくそんな言葉知ってるね。私はあんたなんてもっとバカだと思ってた。
Reasonable.
イムレ・ラカト氏が提唱した概念。科学的であるかオカルトであるかを見定める議論に使われる概念。
クーンのパラダイム論、そしてポパーの反証主義、それらを改良して作り出されたのがラカト氏のリサーチプログラム理論。そこから導き出された概念が新規な予言。
God, there are so many theories here. Yeah, Kuhn's paradigm theory and Popper's falsificationism. Lakatos built upon those to create his methodology of research, and then he derived his principle of novel predictions from that.
予言というと少し宗教じみてるね。簡単に言えば、旗から見たら奇異に見える予言だが、その理論から導き出せる正しい予想のこと。
The word prediction sounds almost religious, doesn't it? To put it simply, a novel prediction is a truthful prediction that may appear strange to the layman, but can be derived from the theory. Yeah, that does make sense, but what theory? Yeah.
つまり僕の頭の中にある理論、そいつから導き出される予言、それが当たればその理論の実証性が高まるというものだ。
I mean, yeah, that is understandable. But then, if you, what derives the theory, though, or it could it be the case that the theory is completely incorrect and it's just led to a correct result? That doesn't necessarily prove the theory is correct.
相対性理論はあらゆる現象を予見したが、その予見の正しさがその後の多くの実験で証明されている。
That is
だ
reasonable,
から
though, yeah.
相対性理論は正しい。
なるほど。それであんたが予言をするというわけなの。
I see. So then, you're going to make some predictions. Yep!
.ああ、その通りだよ。
Might actually just see if I can find some definitions. I'm a bit interested in this. Right, so a paradigm is a worldview underlying the theories and methodology of a particular scientific subject. Yeah, and then and Kuhn's paradigm is so it's a paradigm is established which lays the foundation for legitimate work within the discipline. Scientific work then consists of the articulation of the paradigm and solving puzzles that it throws up. It sets a beginning point for a research project, and puzzles that resist solutions are seen as anomalies. Alright, we've got a... Oh wait, never mind, I found a different definition on a site here. So, a paradigm is a framework that scientists use to understand and investigate the world. It includes accepted theories, standard methods and techniques, and assumptions about how the world works. Alright, here's a good example. So Newton's laws of motions and gravity formed a paradigm of how everything in physics has been based off, and yeah, reasonable. But what if it's systematic uncertainties? But if you've taken into account the systematic uncertainties and you've minimized them, then sure. Yeah, that is tricky, yeah. So scientists they accounted so many anomalies that it's debatable whether the initial paradigm and way of thinking and what the fuck is that? Way of basing all of the problem on is wrong. So they have been creating all of these theories that stem from something that was wrong itself, or well, not really wrong but flawed and potentially not considerable of, well, I don't really know, I'd have to know more context to know about it, but maybe it doesn't include everything that is relevant today, or maybe there are some new discoveries that have made old paradigms like that everything has been based on redundant. I can see how that's really, really tricky to think about. This seems interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, and I suppose the paradigm was wrong, so something had to completely be changed. Yeah, reasonable, yeah. So I think I understand this now. Is there anything else that's significant? Not really. Right, this is actually really quite unusual here. So basically what it is saying that scientific inquiry should not aim to verify hypotheses, but to rigorously test and identify conditions under which they are false. So you don't... But that's odd. That's just such a weird way of thinking about it, because... I mean, if you have theories that are relevant to a certain subject, you're not testing the theory itself and whether the theory's right or not. But you're testing everything on whether the theory's wrong. That just sounds like such a backward and contradictory approach. But at the same time, I can kind of see that, because if you test a problem and then you test what's wrong with the problem and what you think is bad and has the potential to go wrong, of course you could possibly create a correct solution. But at the same time, I mean, isn't that a bit subjective? What's considered a right and wrong solution to the problem? What is actually false as well? That's unusual. And I can see how they'd combine, because I suppose you have all of the paradigms and you have the way of thinking, and obviously the paradigms need to be changed if there is some sort of potential for them to go wrong. And then I suppose in order to prove whether a paradigm is fully correct or not, you need to look into the opportunities of falsehood within those paradigms, so that let's say, for example, you're thinking about how to solve a maths problem. What's a good example? I need to think of a good example here. Maybe logarithms? That's actually a nice idea. Let's say you think you've... what should we do? Let's say you have some sort of integration equation, and the area in which of a curve that you're trying to find the numerical value for is equal to a certain value. But the problem is, oh no, you don't think you've integrated correctly. So I suppose if you apply the falsificationism, you could try to solve the incorrect integral that you've done, and if it equals, and if you find reasonable values, and if you find that you don't get a math error at the end of your calculation, maybe you've done it correctly. But at the same time, I mean, there is a flaw to that, and I think that quite nicely highlights the flaw to it, because obviously if you do something wrong and if you set up a wrong equation, you may still get answers that could potentially be seen as realistic, even though you've integrated wrong. And that's kind of like the paradigm, because I suppose you integrate something and that's kind of your basis for the problem, and then you solve the problem. Well, this is just simple definite integration, or just the integration you first learn. But then the falsification is if you have a correct or incorrect value. It's actually really fun to look at. Yeah. I don't necessarily agree. I shall now make several novel predictions. Oh.
その予言が的中するたびに君は恐れおののくがいいさ
As they bear fruit, one by one, you will all quiver with fear. My verity.
何を馬鹿げたこと。
That's ridiculous. Yeah, she spit those words at me and then looked away. Utter defeat. This is the difference between a savior and a perfect human. Minakami Yuki and Tomosane Yuki could never match me. In your views and your arrogant little views. To be fair, I kind of agree with Yuki. Yeah, I kind of don't at the same time. I mean, in the end of episode 2 at least, she did find the truth. She was able to see what happened with Takuji. But then again, I mean, the Yuki here is different. She is doing investigating, but is she going to be able to find the truth? That's my question. Because if she's a replacement for Kagami, does that mean the same things happen to her as to what happens with Kagami? And the reason is because I'm the savior.
私を生まれ変わらせるために神があの二人を煮えとした
Reasonable, yeah. I can see why he would think that, at least. It's not reasonable, it's completely mad, but yeah.
一人は城山翼、もう一人は高島ザクロ。この二人は私が生まれ変わるために神が煮えとした。
God, could you imagine about what Zakudor would think if she saw Takuji now? What she would think? It's a really, really bad rabbit hole to go down, to be honest. I have been reborn.
何に?
As what?
救世主に。
The Savior.
そう、救世主にだ。
Yes, as the Savior.
世界はあと5日で終わる。
The world will end in 5 days.
しかし、それは兆しだ。
But that is an omen of greater things. Ah, yes, your life ending, that's an omen of greater things, sure.
世界が生まれ変わるための。
An omen that the world will be reborn.
救われない者は古い世界と共に永久に地獄の豪華に焼かれる。
Those not saved, along with the old world, will fall into the depths of hell and suffer for eternity. Yeah, so it's everyone there.
未来永劫に続く苦しみだ。
Yeah. And that is how he twists it. Because he invokes fear in everybody so that they can have more of a relation to him. Well, not a relation, but more of a belief in him.
みんな知っているだろう。
Everyone knows.
世界が嘘で満ちていることを、そして真実は隠されていることを。
Isn't that ironic? Yeah, that the world is pervaded by lies. That the truth is hidden.
愚者は平等という。
Really? Actually, yeah, I can totally see that. The foolish speak of
し
equality.
かしみんな知っている。
Yeah.
世界が平等でないことを。
And that's the thing, the world can never not be equal. There are always going to be people with different backgrounds, well, to be fair, if it's funny that people do go on solving equality, but at the same time, if the world was truly equal, every human would be the same. Every place would be the same. So, I mean, technically, in a region that has no inequality, for example, i.e. no discrimination because somebody's a woman or something like that, or somebody's, I don't know, short or ginger or black or just anything that somebody could discriminate another person for. Even if there is none of that, it's as if even if there is no inequality, the world is still in inequality because everyone is different, so we are not equal. So technically it's impossible to have equality. I find that funny that you could genuinely think about that. Yeah, but what Takuji's saying, sure.
愚者は自由という。しかし皆知っている。世界に自由がないことを。
Yeah, and that's another example of him totally imposing the worldviews he knows onto everybody there.
愚者は愛という。しかし皆知っている。愛が人を裏切ることを。
Yeah, you can talk.
愚者は人を殺すなという。しかし皆知っている。世界が殺人で満ちていることを。
Yeah, they're people that have done it. Yeah, you must not kill, but you can still live if you have killed. I can kind of see that, I suppose, because obviously you must not kill, and yet there are people who have done it, so if somebody has done it, why shouldn't I do it? Is that the logic that Takuji's thinking with? I mean, it's insane.
愚者は嘘をつくなという。
The foolish say that you must not lie.
しかし皆知っている。愚者こそが嘘つきであることを。
But everybody knows that the foolish themselves are lying.
愚者の嘘を鵜呑みにした者はバカを見る。
Fair enough.
そう、嘘なのだ。すべては嘘であったのだ。世界がずっと前からあることも、これからあり続けることも。
To be fair, that is reasonable, yeah.
す 我々が前に踏み出そうとするその先は奈落なのだ。世界は終わる。確実に終わる。
God, yeah.
これが真実なのだ。その証拠に3つの予言をしよう。
Yep.
一つ、もう一つの死によって死へ
that's
の
really
濃度は
well
さ
put,
らに
yeah.
明言されるであろう。二つ、多くの者がその死をもう一度目撃するであろう。
I am very interested to see his thought process with regards to Yuki. Sorry, Yuki? No! Kimika's death!
三つ、そして死者は語るであろう。すべての終局を。
That's interesting. The ultimate demise. Yeah, there we are. He was pissing off. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see his thoughts after this ridiculous incident. Somebody's a fucking sadist. Jesus Christ. God, you do something as unacceptable as that, and then that's the first thing you think about. I mean, that properly shows that there's no return for him. They shall speak of the ultimate demise, though. Oh, yeah, no. Isn't that interesting to think about the fact that Senagawa speaks Takuji's name? Maybe that's... To Yuki, I remember last time, Takuji's name was mentioned. Maybe the ultimate demise is him, because he's going to be the one that is going to lead the last part of everybody near him to destruction. Their faces, what wonderful faces. Okay, yeah, to be fair, they deserve it. They really do. Numada's face, Nishimura's face, the teachers. Isn't it interesting? Yeah, the rest of the people in the class. Yeah, he's totally... And he's been bullied and he's had so many ridiculously hard times in the school. So, of course, the first people he would instinctively have a thrill from hurting are the people that have hurt him the most. I mean, especially these two. These guys are horrible. I mean, horrible doesn't even describe how disgusting they are in terms of human beings. Yeah, even hers, the one who was on a level standing with Takuji, still is really, really shocked by how far he will go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah. Yeah, those are the faces of those who I once feared. And it's so sad to think that he has been so bullied, so he is in theory the best person for this incident, because the bullying has not only made it so that he feels better about doing this because he is making the people who have made his life hell fearful, but also because yeah, he's doing it because he's damaged from the bullying. In order to resolve himself from the damage of the bullying, he's gone crazy, really. Huh? That's Kagami? Oh, not what I was expecting whatsoever. Yes. Will you? Sure thing. God, she looks so fucking terrifying. She is just staring into your face. I really see what everybody says when they say her eyes are so dark. They are at the pool of the abyss. Oh my god, this is going to be exciting. I'm going to take a little break, but then, yeah. Isn't it interesting that Takuji is thinking about the fact that the world has always existed on the premise of lies, and society has always been existed from ideals that are derived from one-sided and, let's be honest, illogical lies. It's interesting, that's kind of what he's thinking. In some situations you can totally apply it, in others maybe not, but yeah. Well, no. Why are you saying that your view is objective? What if the world has always... You think that... What if somebody thinks the world has always existed for them? Well, the world has always existed for them, and they've not known the world before it's existed. Nobody on the planet has. So why would we want to doubt the fact that it's always existed? For us, it's always existed. So has it objectively always existed? It's just hard to believe that it hasn't. I mean, obviously science proves that there was a day the universe was created. Well, to be fair, science disproves all of these things, because destruction of the sun, destruction of the universe, obviously creation of the universe, the Big Bang. I really am excited to see how this will come into play. It's just interesting that he doesn't even realise how much he is a bully, and he is taking his anger out and taking revenge, if you like, on the people that have tormented his life so much. Yes. I'll wipe that cool expression of your face soon enough. Yeah, it's going to be quite cool to see. Okay, right. Time for... I don't understand what the fuck is going on for... I don't know, maybe 30, 40 minutes, however long the scene is, I don't know. Or not however long the scene is, it's just how long I take to read it. You know how long I take to read stuff. Right, here we go. Will you? Really? Oh, the thing I love about Ayana is that she is the most stone cold and just neutral person in general, because if you tease her, you really think that she's going to... Well, to be fair, she will tease you back in a way that is... Well, it's really brutal, because obviously Takuji's way is completely using the expression in his voice, but Ayana will just do something that's probably equally as effective without any expression, just with the power of words. God, yeah. Isn't that interesting? It's just a constant cycle that's constantly encouraged. I'll wipe that cool expression off your face soon enough. Yeah, fair enough. It's summer. It's not cool at all. Yeah, it's burning hot, especially in Japan. I mean, Japanese summers are really brutal, I've heard. I mean, to be fair, if it's anything to, well, I mean, obviously, I suppose the the story in which I've read most about Japanese summer conditions is probably Higurashi, to be honest. And that story, I mean, it did seem... I mean, to be honest, it wasn't really explicitly mentioned too much, apart from the fact that it was really hot there, but, yeah, at the same time, I mean, it just seemed like something that would be so undesirable to live in. I mean, summers here are bad enough. It's summer, it's not cool at all. Very odd expression on her sprite there. I can see through your bluff. Dude, that was a literal joke. What do you mean? Otonashi Ayana, you were nothing but Riruru-chan's dregs. Hang on a second, how does he mean dregs? I'm sorry, I never hear people use this expression. Oh, that's actually really interesting. So, yeah. Dregs are the remnant of a liquid left in a container, together with any sediment. Or the most worthless part or parts of something. But I suppose the first definition does kind of imply the second. I mean, if it's remnants of a liquid that's unused and left in a container, I suppose it could be the most worthless part because it's not used for anything. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's as if she is just the leftovers from Riruru. Otonashi Ayana, you are nothing but Riruru-chan's dregs. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you're just a shadow. I'm not afraid of you. Yeah, isn't that interesting? I think Ayana should do something that scares Takuji so that that's not the case. I'm not afraid of you. Well, you definitely sound it, and you definitely have an expression that implies that you are nice to everyone, sure. To be fair, Ayana is a person who does have... I mean, I get that her conversations are really, really ambiguous and really out of this world, let's be honest, but when have you once seen her go out of order? I mean, when she talks to us, obviously, she's fine, but at the same time, she is quite literally manipulating us, which is completely out of order, sure. But at the same time, when we're actually talking to her, usually the conversations are... Actually, I don't know. I mean, I feel like she usually becomes out of order because other people do. Actually, no. No, to be fair, I think Ayana, maybe you could make an argument that Ayana isn't actually that scary. It's just how people interpret her natural way of speaking. I don't know, but obviously I don't really think you can. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not scary, actually. I'm super nice. I'm even famous for being nice to everyone. Oh god, yeah, don't make fun of me. I'm within the omen. And after the omen, I will reach fruition. But how do you know that? I would never believe something like that. I mean, it's so neutrally told. Is that so? Keep at it then. I don't understand what part of that is... What? Just teasing at the fact that Takuji should keep up and he should keep going. Teasing about that because he never will be able to. Is that it? Shut up, don't make fun of me. I'm not making fun of you. It is interesting, I find it kind of hard to tell what her expression is. I can't really tell. It looks as if she's happy, but at the same time her eyes look really sad and dejected. Mamiya-kun, goodbye. But what about Riruru? Is Riruru leaving Takuji? What? You're going to return to the world, to the sky, right? What the fuck? Dude, What is going on for him to deserve such a reaction like this? That's really odd.
僕は兆しだ。
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I think this is a conversation where he has a bias to somebody because he finds them creepy and then he exaggerates everything that is said. I mean, something like this.
そう。頑張ってね。
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really sound like it's that enthusiastic, but then again, I mean, how do you know? You don't necessarily know Ayana. Maybe that is her way of expressing a way of saying good luck. I mean, he's just totally overreacting and being paranoid and imagining that doom is the only outcome, really. I am the omen. God, yeah, he seems totally whacked.
僕は予感だ。
I'm the presentiment. Are you, though?
僕は生命の至りだ。至るものなのだ。
I am the apex of life. I am the apex.
僕は
What?
対の空だ。
I am the end sky? I feel like whenever he goes down, and he obviously goes into his underground hideout around the foundations of the new school swimming pool. Yeah, I think something's going to be a little bit different. I don't know why, I just have the feeling that there's going to be something out there to scare Takuji.
さあ、開けよう。
I don't like that translation. But open sesame.
誰だ。
Who is it? Oh, it's her. That was... Okay, I was expecting something to happen, but really not that. Oh, shit. Ah, yes. They knew. It's as if the readers... Well, the writers made it so that the reader's mind was read. It's not just Takuji doing the mind reading. It's the writers as well now. Good. Time to get as paranoid as Takuji. That's quite funny. So maybe Takuji was thinking that this was a reference to how Ayana believes he's acting. Oh, yeah, I like that. So the apex is the top or the highest part of something. Yeah. He is the highest in the tree of any being that is living. That's what he feels. When is he gonna realise? Oh yeah, funny to think about the fact that Kimika knew that we were hanging out here. Yeah, what the fuck is going on with her?
なんだこいつ。
Yeah, what are you doing? She was looking at me weird. Yeah, she does look like she is really quite skeptical. Her name is Tachibana Kimika, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the person who betrayed Takashima Zakuro. But at the same time, the person who's also helping spread the incident of Takuji for unknown reason. Why is she here?
何か用かい？立花君香さん。
Are you looking for me, Tachibana Kimika-san?
名前知ってるんだ。
See, know my name. I didn't really know her well. Yeah. Her face was in one of Takashima-san's pictures. That's all. Oh, I see, yeah. God. He's literally looked through her camera roll. I mean, I get that obviously he wants to investigate her death, but isn't that a bit much? I mean, I get that obviously Zakudor's dead, but at the same time, I don't know, I just personally want to respect the boundaries of somebody, and if anything, even more so because of the fact that they're dead. I just don't really think it's right, because obviously this person's not alive, you've never received objective consent from them. And don't tell me that, oh, it's what they would have wanted. No, that's bullshit. That's, if you ask me, that's bullshit, because I think that's something that you have put your own perception on top of. That's what you think, and you're imposing it on what they may have thought, which is not really a correct thing to do, morally, if you ask me. Isn't that interesting? Well, this is entirely for self-interest. He doesn't even care about Zakudor anymore, so it makes sense.
Oh, Takashima-san を裏切った人だろ?
Yeah, you're the one who betrayed Takashima-san, right? I thought she would flinch when I said that, but her expression didn't change it. Oh shit, her expression didn't change at all.
そうだよ。私は高島ザクロを裏切った人間。
What the fuck?
あの子を島で追い込んだ人間だよ。
Yeah, that's right. I betrayed Takashima Zakudor. I chased her to a... What? That's odd. Oh my god, is she holding the murder weapons that she had before? She was hiding something in her right... I think you should be fucking careful if she's hiding what I think she is.
何しに来たの?
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Why did you decide to come here?
いや。あなたって救世主様なんでしょ?
Well, you're the savior, right?
おう、そうだけど。
And?
私、隣のクラスだから、あなたのクラスから大声が聞こえてきて。
I'm in the class next door, so I heard you shouting.
なるほど。それで高島ザクロの名前が出てきて、思わず聞き入ったということかい?
Because she actually agrees and fully understands with what Takuji is saying, even after all of the arguments with regards to Yuki. But to be fair, I suppose that she's able to listen with a more objective viewpoint, and a viewpoint that obviously takes into account what is being said more. Obviously, the people in Takuji's class, nobody's going to submit to him easily, because they know of... Well, why would they submit to something that is so chaotic and unpleasant? I mean, even the bullies won't. No way. Well, I mean, these bullies are horrible people, but are they delusional? Okay, yes they are, but at the same time, not in this way. I mean, I'm sorry, but you can never tell me that somebody like Nishimura is not delusional. No way.
そんな感じ。廊下まで出て聞いてた。人気者だね。
God.
他の人たちも出て聞いてたよ。そうそう。先生まで聞き入ってたよ。
Hang on a second, that's really weird. If that's the case, why is it the case when we walked out of the classroom, we didn't see anybody there? Either they had all skillfully went and they knew when to leave, or Takuji just didn't see them, likely conclusion. Or maybe it could be the case that Takuji has crossed a boundary in order to be able to see Ayana. I don't know. To be honest though, when have we seen Ayana outside of the boundary? I feel like every time we've seen Ayana, it's as if we've crossed another boundary. Yeah, I think that might actually explain that. I don't know. But I don't know if I'm thinking in the wrong direction or not, but if I am thinking correctly, that does fit. I ran into the hall and listened. You're awfully popular. I wasn't the only one in the hall listening either. There are even a few teachers out there hanging on your every word.
何教師に
What, what teachers?
うん
Yeah. Yeah, God, and yet he did nothing. That's really odd. So the teacher next door heard me hit Ida with a vase. Exactly, yeah, he's fucking useless. Why didn't he come stop me?
それでその教師はどう
I
した
don't
の
understand that. Why are these people so bad at their jobs? And what will they do?
震え出してすっごく
Yeah, that
硬
makes
く
sense actually. Yeah, they were so scared about what the potential a student who has completely changed all of a sudden could do. Yeah, they were quivering. I could hear their teeth chattering. Yeah, and isn't it funny that Kimika has decided to come here even after that? Even after a speech so terrifying that it can make people have chattering teeth.
震え出した
They were quivering. Oh, I see. So that teacher was... Oh, yeah.
そいつは背中だ
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me that she did nothing. That teacher must have been Senagawa. Oh. Yeah, from her surprised expression, I must have been right.
ふーん
なんだ
What is it?
救世主様も自信満々の割には間違えるんだ
Oh. For all your confidence, you do still make mistakes. Yeah, I like that reality that's being imposed on him here.
何
What?
清川だよ清川あすみ救世主様の担任じゃないの
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that does fit because somebody did ask to get the home... Well, nobody asked to get the homeroom teacher. That's the funny thing. Nobody asked and yet she still came just because... That shows that highlights how serious the situation was, to be honest. Yeah, it was Kiyokawa. Kiyokawa Asumi. She's your homeroom teacher, isn't she?
清川が
It was Kiyokawa. Yeah. Why would she be so scared? She's our homeroom teacher. I would have expected her to come stop me. Yeah, but then again, I mean, I suppose if... Well, she probably knows about Senagawa getting threats, so she just thought it was reality coming that little bit too true to be comfortable, really. No, wait. Yeah, there was someone who registered with a referral from Senagawa. Yeah, totally, yeah. I thought that it was likely that that registration was from a teacher. If that was from Kiyokawa, then it all makes sense. Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, Kiyokawa has been receiving the curse mail too. She was so scared that she didn't stop me. Isn't it interesting what fear can do to someone? I still don't really understand why, what's her name, Kimika is here. I mean, sure, she heard the speech, but what made her want to come here? And what made her know that Takuji was here as well?
清川あすみかなるほど彼女は震えてどうしてた
Kiyokawa Asumi, huh? Did she do anything else?
なんかよく聞こえなかったんですけど確かゆいとか
That's
あれ
odd.
は本当とかブツブツ言ってた
I couldn't hear her very well, but she was muttering something like Yui. Is that true?
ほ
Yeah, and that does make sense, but I wonder what she could be referring to. Yeah, exactly, yeah, and Yui is Senagawa's first name. Yeah, those two are close enough to call each other by their first names. Yeah. God, yeah, that must be quite... Oh, you must have a lot of pressure. Well, there aren't very many teachers around their age at the school. Most of the others are closing in on their retirement. Oh.
でも、なんで瀬名川先生の名前出てくるんですか?
Ah, but why did you think it was Senagawa? Just now. Her voice cracked for a second. She's upset. There's no mistake, she's bluffing. She's been acting confident this whole time, but she's quivering on the inside. How do you tell? Yeah, fair. She definitely reacted when I said Senagawa's name. Is it because maybe she has a connection to Senagawa and she knows the harassment that is being given to her? Yeah. Well, of course. She's the one who was posting so much about Takashima on the underground message board. She was clearly distraught about the curse. It really is a curse. At this rate, we're all going to die. These messages are really bizarre. And so on. She sounded awfully upset in these posts. God, yeah, she doesn't know I read all the posts she made. What a stupid girl. Her bluffing is truly impertinent. That's interesting. I do wonder why she's came to... Well, unlike everybody else, she's not cowered away in fear, and obviously she has a big amount of fear that's directed towards all of the conspiracy that's going on, and yet she decides to visit us. I really do wonder why.
なぜ瀬名川の名を出したか知りたいか?
Do you want to know why I thought it was Senagawa? Oh god, yeah.
はい。なんで瀬名川先生なんですか?
Yes, why Senagawa sensei? Her speech grew a little more polite. I could see straight through her. Oh god, yeah, totally. Yeah, she must have been expecting me to say it was because Senagawa was in hot water for being the advisor to the Fine Arts Club where Takashima-san used to get bullied. Almost everyone had heard that rumour. God, yeah, so that's another rumour of, let's be honest, her incompetency that she needs to now pay the price for. She must have been expecting me to say something simple like that. My next words make you quiver in fear. God, I wonder what he's going to say. I mean, yeah, I just want to reread a little bit. Yeah, this is really unusual. Yeah, I suppose if you don't think at this, if you think about this in a more metaphorical sense, sure, that throwing away of the doll was one of the causes of, well, just throwing away anything that was attached to her, and then obviously you have people that are encouraging you to suicide anyway, so you just feel as if what they're offering and their really delusional premises are things that may be beneficial to her, really. And then you go on bad rabbit holes and then you die. She sounds very, very neutral about it as well, which I'm quite surprised about. But maybe she's accepted her actions now and she's been able to find peace with what she has done. Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, totally. The fuck? What the genuine fuck? Yeah, totally. Yeah, the physics teacher. Oh god, I feel bad for Takuji. No, sorry, I meant I felt bad for the physics teacher for having to deal with somebody like Takuji. I mean, my god. On a serious note, it must be very difficult to have students like that. Especially ones who, I mean, it was really odd that time because Takuji was completely covered in delusions, but the only thing is, he never even I think that was the weirdest thing about all of those delusions, is obviously they were happening and the paranoia was ridiculous, but at the same time, he never even realised how troubled he was, how much trouble he was letting on to anybody else around him. He was constantly talking to himself and really scared, and god, that was really ugly that day. Yeah, no, totally, yeah. She doesn't though, seriously, yeah. I wonder what she would react, how her reaction would be like if she knew who was responsible for the creation of the site. Yeah, I really do wonder what Takuji's going to say. Just obviously something that's opposite to what she'd expect. I'll expose your bluff, Tachibana Kimika.
なんでもったいぶるんですか？
Why are you acting so high and mighty?
もったいぶる？いや、君がショックを受けないか心配しただけさ。
High and mighty? Oh, I'm just worried that you might be shocked to hear it.
私がショック？
Shocked? What a face. Yeah, she really is trying. Yeah, what a face. Where did all your confidence go, Tachibana?
ああ、そうだ。だって瀬名川結衣が死
Oh
ぬから。
my god.
なんて聞いたら君はどうなっちゃうのかな。
Fucking hell, that's awful. That really is. Yeah, I was just wondering how you'd react when you heard Senagawa was going to die. For some reason, her expression went blank for an instant. Why? Why isn't she surprised? I mean, logically it makes sense, but at the same time, why isn't she? Then in the next instant... What are you on? What? I don't know, this doesn't look like a forced smile. It looks like a smile that would imply derangement and murderous intent, if you ask me. Her expression froze for a second and then changed into a forced smile. Yeah, reasonable, yeah. They say that when faced with true fear, a human's expression almost looks like they're laughing. Yeah, I see that. Higurashi, dare I say more. This unnatural laugh must mean she's more scared than she's ever been in her life. Yeah. Yeah.
なんで死ぬんですか？いつ死ぬんですか？
Why will she die? When will she die? Yeah, why? What has she done? I mean, obviously she's been incompetent, but does that deserve death?
いつ？まあ近いうちだね。
When? Pretty soon, I suppose. That's interesting. So I really do wonder if the knife and the weapon of I don't really understand why Kimika stole Senagawa's phone. I don't really get what she was intending to do with that. But no. Then she gave it to Kiyokawa. So I suppose, yeah, that does make full sense. Oh my god, I remember thinking that they were potentially in on a conspiracy together. No way, I think she was doing the right thing, and I think that she had a knife and she had that really, really high brightness laser pen-like weapon just because of the fact that she wanted to try to stop anybody who had the potential of killing Senagawa. Yeah, so I think she was trying to stop Takuji. That's really interesting. Pretty soon, I suppose.
それって今日明日のレベルで
Do you mean like today or tomorrow? I know, yeah. Hold on, how scared are you? Yeah, I totally agree. Where did your courage go?
ああ、そうだ。
Yeah, he's not answering the question. Honestly, that's a good move. Yeah, something like that.
なんで瀬名川先生なんですか死ぬの
Why Miss Senagawa? Why is she going to die?
理由？理由なんて一つしかないじゃないか。
The reason? There's only one reason, isn't there?
それってやっぱり高島ザクロの呪いでしょうか
Do you mean Takashima Zakuro's curse?
ああ、そうだ。
Yeah, that's it.
じゃあ他の人間も死ぬのですか
Then is anyone else going to die?
このままならな。
Yeah, makes sense. At this rate, yeah.
そうなんだいやそうですか他も死ぬんだ死んじゃうんだ
So what would be the logical assumption? Because of the fact that you are drowning in fear, just going away from Takuji, or maybe, I don't know, calling the police? Dude, why does nobody think about the police in situations like these? The police would be perfect for somebody like Takuji. I can't believe the school haven't called the police. But it's probably because they're so scared of their reputation. I mean, let's be honest, what he has done to the Ida teacher, it's a criminal offence. They could quite validly have a police case on him. And obviously when he commits murder, even more so. I mean, he's already done something illegal. She's so scared. Yeah, I can hear her voice shaking.
疑問なんですけどなんで瀬名川先生だけが死ぬのでしょうか先に
I have another question. Why is Senagawa Sensei going to die first?
特に恨まれていたからだよ。
Because she was especially hated. Oh. God, yeah, no, I don't blame her, I really don't. And I think it's so sad that all of this and all of the obvious signs of her being ridiculously scared and fearful for what's going to happen next, it's just so cruel how Takuji almost laughs and belittles her for it. Her face distorted in a way I'd never seen before. This was almost a death sentence for her. Yeah, reasonable, yeah. I totally see that. Yeah, the fourth people most deserving of Kashima-san's hate would be Akasaka Megu, Kitami Satoko, Senagawa Yi, and Tachibana Kimika herself. Yeah. Senagawa Sensei was especially hated. Oh yeah, I totally agree, yeah. What a smile. The fear is practically written on her face. Is it that scary?
ああ。他にも、赤坂メグとか。 北見聡子とかもだ。
Oh god, it's only a moment of... It's only an amount of time before her name is mentioned, let's be honest here. Well, it's reasonable, yeah.
ああ、高島ザクロの
Oh
一
god.
関与した人間だ。
God, he so knows what he's doing. Yeah, the people who were involved in her bullying.
なら私は
Then I...
さあね。でも来ていないんだろ
Who knows? But you're not getting them, are you?
来ていない。それって
Not getting them? You mean...
高島ザクロからの呪いのメールには2種類ある。1日に1回、全員の死を予告するメール。
There were two kinds of curse mail. One is the kind that is sent to everyone once a day to pronounce their deaths.
そしてもう一つは
Yeah.
1時間ごとに送られてくる。恨みの言葉だけが書き連ねてあるメール。
And the other is messages full of hate that come every hour.
それ私に来ていないです。
I'm quite surprised. I haven't gotten any of those.
ああ、そうなんだろうね。
Well, I guess not.
それどういう意味なんでしょうか。
What does that mean?
僕自身は君たちに呪いのメールが来ているかどうかなんて知らないよ。
Yeah, he really is making an effort to distance himself from this. Yeah, I don't know whether any of you are getting any of the messages or not, but I can see the curse. Yeah, it makes sense. He can fully control it as well. He is the person who set it up.
呪いが見える。
You can see the curse.
ああ、死者の怨念がついて回る姿が見えるのさ。
Yeah, I can see the hate swirling around people's bodies. Yeah, and what hate does, especially if it's something that's really hostile like this is, it drains them. It really does drain their every emotion.
それで私は、
Then what about me?
全くなし。ということはないよ。いや、むしろ、その呪いの強さは赤坂や北見と変わらない。
I wish I could say there's nothing, but your curse is as strong as Megu and Satoko's. It's a bit of a translation error.
ならなぜ私には来ないのですか。
But yeah, then why am I not getting the other kind of curse mail?
同情されてるんじゃないのか。
Maybe she sympathizes with you. To be fair, I get that obviously Kimika was really multiple-sided because she had done things that were really good for Zakudo. She'd also done things that were very bad as well.
同情
Sympathizes?
君は彼女と同じように長い間いじめられ続けてきたからね。
To be fair, isn't it ironic that when the end sky is reached, she does objectively die anyway, though? Yeah, and she becomes one of the people that Takuji manipulates as well. I wonder how that happens. And why. It's obviously the death of Senagawa, let's be honest. And the fear of her life, that's probably a part to play in this. You were bullied for a long time, just like her. For some reason, her expression went blank again. She doesn't react like most people.
それで
Yeah, no, I see that.
赤坂と北見も死ぬのですか。
Yeah, God, I can see why she would want that. I really will. Yeah, so will Akasaka and Kitami die too?
このままなら
At this rate.
何ですかそれ。あなたが呪いを止めてあげるってことですか。
What do you mean? Can you stop the... Of course he can, yeah.
さあね。それはわからないさ。
Well, obviously he has the potential to, but delusions are delusions. They will never let him go. Who knows? I'm not sure.
止められるのですか？
Can you stop it? Her tone changed again. She doesn't react normally at all. Well, no, I can totally see what's being said here. I mean, it's just a constant begging for it to stop. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, 当然だ。
Yeah, of course.
なら瀬名川先生の呪いも
Then you could stop Senagawa Sensei's curse too.
止められるさ。
I could, but...
だが
But...
止めない。
Yeah, totally. That sounds like him, alright, yeah. Because somebody's life is less important than his ridiculous and delusional quest to become a saviour. And to become a person who is worthy of retrieving the end sky on the 19th. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, you are literally taking somebody's life here. But he just doesn't understand the weight of it. He's too delusional to understand the weight of taking somebody's life. Yeah.
なぜでしょうか？
Why would that be?
そう世界が予定されているからさ。
Yeah, a delusional person's response. Complete irrational justification. That's what the world has determined. It's been determined that Senagawa Yui will die.
そうなんですか。瀬名川先生は死ぬ運命なんですか？なら赤坂メグは北見聡子は
Oh really? She's fated to die. That is interesting. Maybe this has kind of touched the areas in which she believes. Maybe she believes in fate, I'm not sure. Oh really, she's fated to die. Then what about Akasaka Megu and Kitami Satoko?
あと
Yeah.
私は
And what about me?
どうかね。そこまでは教えられないよ。
Who knows? I can't tell you that.
そうですか。そういえば言ってましたもんね。救世主様はそのもとに下ったものしか救わないって。
Well, I know, she's in a genuinely vulnerable position, so of course it's the case that Kimika does want to potentially be saved.
No, そうだ。誰でも彼でも救う義理はない。それに、それは神々の予定に反する行為だ。
That's right. I don't have any obligation to save anyone, to everyone, and I would be going against God's plan if I did.
そうなんだ。
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
でも逆に言えば、救世主様のもとに下れば、誰でも助けるのかしら。
I see. But to put it another way, anyone who bowed to you could be saved.
ああ、そうだ。
That's right.
助けるのですか？
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah. Will you save me? Just a moment. For some reason, her face changed back into its original expression for just a moment. Rather than fear, it looked more like... Yeah, totally reasonable. Yeah, intent to kill. Yeah, makes full sense. Yeah, I know what she's doing. What?
救世様。
What the fuck? Yeah, she's totally changed, my saviour.
なんだ
What?
救世主様のしもべにしてくれないでしょうか？
Oh god. Isn't that actually really quite funny? That reminds me of what happened with Zakudou in the dream world. Would you take me as your humble servant?
僕の元に下りたいということか。
Oh my god, if you're the saviour, if you're the person who is so above humanity and you're so intelligent and you're so... Well, you are the apex of the entire species, as you put it. You will be able to tell that you are being completely betrayed here, totally. You mean you want to join me?
はい、私、すごく怖
No,
かっ
it's
たん
all
で
a
す。
front now, I think.
高島さんの呪いで自分も殺されるんじゃないかって。でも私死にたくなくて。
Yes, I'm scared that I might be killed by Takashima-san's curse. I don't want to die.
ふーん。
Oh, is that it? No, you didn't misinterpret it. You did not. What about the weapons in episode 2? That is the reason why I think he interpreted that correctly initially. I mistook it for intent to kill, but it was the expression of a hunter that's found its prey. Oh, yeah, and she was hunting for a way to save herself, and she found it. I guess she's just an animal looking to save itself. She acted like she knew something important, but she was just motivated by self-preservation. Yeah. She's the embodiment of a simple, predictable woman, and that is your downfall. Holy fuck.
私、自分が助かるためなら何でもします。だから私を助けてください。
I'll do anything to be saved. Please save me. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, I think she's really trying to have Takuji on here. I like this, yeah. Her attitude changed completely. Now she's begging me for salvation. How pathetic.
そこまでして助かりたいのかい。
Do you want to be saved that badly?
はい、助けてください、救世主様。だって救世主様は高島桜の呪いを止めることができるのですよね。
Please save me, my saviour. You're the only one who can stop Takashima Zakudou's curse. Yeah. To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out either way. If this was either intent to kill, by making it so that obviously it would seem that we're really close, so we would know a lot of Takuji's movements because of the fact that we are really close to him with the saviour related stuff. But it could also be genuine. It's hard to tell. It's just that piece of evidence in episode 2. It kind of makes me want to contradict this.
ああ、そうだ。
Yeah, of course.
私をしもべとしてそばに置いてください。何でもします。何でもしますから。ご承ですから。
Please allow me to be your servant. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, so please.
ただ、呪いから逃れたいだけでここに来たのか。
Did you just come here to escape the curse?
私、何でもします。まだ信仰心が足りないかもしれませんが、救世主様の言葉をよく聞きます。よく覚えます。だから。
God. I'll do anything. My faith may still be lacking, but I'll listen to whatever you say.
ああ、わかった。我が元に向かうよ。
You're welcome at my side. Her sprite looks so weird. Can I just say that? Huh? Really?
母が決めた予定調和。定められた運命だからこそ、お前はここにいるのだろう。
Yeah, it's pre-established harmony. It's because of the fate my mother has determined for me that you are here.
予定調和
Pre-established harmony?
何ですかそれ。
Why is that?
すべてが必然ということ。そうだ。高島はお前にあることをさせるためにお前を殺そうとはしなかった。
Everything is inevitable. Takashima didn't kill you because she needed you to do something.
私にさせるためですか。
Oh god.
そうだ。高島の声。
Oh yeah,
あの予
funny
言を
that,
もっ
yeah.
と広げるために。
That's right. She needs you to spread her predictions to more people. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And also, isn't it interesting that maybe he's giving a really, really out of character idea to Zakudor here, implanting in implanting the idea into Kimika's head that Zakudor was going to potentially murder her just for the severity of everything that's gone on. Everything that Kimika has done in order to have a friendship that was preserved to a little bit of extent and then just completely ruin it, especially because of the fact that she was the one who contributed, probably dealt the most painful blow to all of the bullying that had occurred. Hmm.
予言20日に世界が終わるっていうあれですか。
Predictions. The prediction that the world will end on the 20th.
そうだ。20日は世界の最後の日。
Exactly. The 20th is the world's last day.
なぜ私なのでしょうか。
Why me?
愛憎は表裏一体。高島はお前を恨んでもいたが愛してもいた。 そん
God.
なお前にみんなを救ってやってほしいんだろう。
Love and hate are two sides of the same coin. Takashima resented you, but she also loved you. Oh god, yeah, she wanted you to save everyone. Yeah, so... I mean, obviously I can definitely see this. Yeah, but at the same time, isn't it really funny? I mean, what Takuji has done, he's made so little connection between what telling the prediction implies and also how saving everybody is then done from the prediction. And I think that really, really just shows how nonsensical it all is, because you're just doing one action for no reason whatsoever. You really are. And yet, you're still continuing to do it. Wanted me to save. God, look at those eyes. Look properly emotionless. They look too guilt-ridden. Zakudor
彼
wanted
女は
me
そうい
to.
う人間だった。とてもけなげで素直で、そして優しい少女だ。
She was that kind of person. She was honest, kind, and pure. But then again, I mean, these could also be the eyes of somebody who is waiting to kill Takuji. Who knows? It really is hard to tell.
そうだ。お前のために高島は身代わりになった。
So fucking evil, this. I mean, especially to think about the fact that these people, Takuji and Zakudor, they once had a connection. Like Takuji said, love is just betrayal. It really is. Because love he felt before, now he's all in his totally insane phase. It's just a farce, and it's as if it never happened as well. That's the worst thing. In my place.
そうだ。20日の世界滅亡を知らせるために彼女は死んだ。
She died so that she could warn everyone of the world's destruction on the 20th.
なぜだ。
And why?
なぜ高島ザクロは死んだんだ。
Why did Takashima Zakuro die? Why?
必要だったからだ。
Jesus Christ. I just can't imagine saying this to somebody that you have had such a connection to. I mean, holy shit. I get that Takuji has changed, but he's changed this much. I mean, it's just... concerning is barely touching the iceberg in terms of how horrible this is. Yeah, of course it's concerning. It is so much more than that, though. Because it was necessary. I don't even want to imagine what she's thinking, because I feel like she's obviously wanting to kill Takuji, and yeah, I think it's obvious how much disgust she must be feeling.
そうだ。お前たちを救うために高島ザクロは幽霊になる必要があったからだ。
That's right, she needed to become a ghost in order to save you.
霊になり未来を知る必要があったからだ。
She needed to become a spirit so she could know the future.
そしてお前が生きているのはそれをみんなに知らせるためだ。高島が知ったこと、予言を人々に知らせるためだ。
Yeah, and the reason you are still alive is so you can tell people. You need to tell the people what Takashima knew.
私がザクロの知っていることを人々に知らせる。
I need to tell the people what Zakuro knew.
そうだ。高島ザクロはお前に託したんだよ。
That's right. Takashima Zakuro entrusted it to you. God, he is so full of shit.
した
Entrusted it.
そうだ。救世主に帰依し、そして世界を救う役目を。
Yes, she trusted that you would come to me and save the world.
私が
That I would.
自分が痛みを知らなければ他人の痛みなど知りようがない。
God. One must know pain themselves before they can understand the pain of others.
他人の痛み
Pain of others.
だからこそ痛みを知らない人間は他人を痛めつけることができる。
Reasonable, yeah. Yeah, that's why people who haven't known pain themselves can so easily hurt the people around them.
それって
That's...
そうだ。赤坂めぐや北見聡子がその典型だ。だがお前は違う。お前は痛みを知る。
To be fair, I mean, I think, yeah, Akasaka Megu and Kitami Satoko are perfect examples of that, but you're different. You know pain. I mean, maybe these people have really bad home lives as well. They could know pain from different aspects to bullying. Well, they could be bullied at home as well, who knows? But, or maybe they could just be horrible human beings in general, really. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad home life. Yeah, but I see that. I mean, she knows how it feels to be in pain, but she also has spread the pain because of the fact that she's been bullied, yeah. Yeah, you understand the pain of others, so as a result of the predictions that are being told, you will... Well, I don't know, you'll save the world, but at the same time you will increase the pain of others because you will increase the fear and the tension and just anything that people could be scared of, you will increase by doing it.
誰よりも今誰よりも高島
Oh
桜
yeah,
の
yeah,
痛み
yeah,
を知る者だ。
reasonable. Yeah, right now you're the person who understands Takashima Sakuro's pain more than any other.
私は
Oh,
高島桜の痛みをお前以上に分かる者がいるか？お前以上に高島桜の気持ちを分かる者がいるのか？
is there anyone who understands Takashima Sakuro's pain better than you do? Is there anyone? That is actually a very reasonable questions, to be honest, yeah. Is there anyone who understands Takashima Sakuro's feelings better than you do?
いるはずもない。だって私はザクロと友達でザクロに救ってもらって、そしてザクロを裏切って、それでもザクロは愛してくれ。
If I'm going to be honest, I find it very hard to tell. I find it very hard to tell her intents. Maybe she still tried to betray Takuji, even though she has had such an emotional attachment here. Maybe she still came to her senses and realised that she is being totally manipulated, and her experiences and her pain is the cause of all of this manipulation. Maybe she will realise that, and maybe that's why she will potentially try to rebel against Takuji.
分かってる。分かっているよ。
It's so ugly. It really is. Yes, you do understand what she's saying, totally. God, yeah.
もう言うな。高島は分かっているさ。
I think it's just so awful because I think it may be a good thing. There's one thing that's good about this is the fact that Takuji is kind of making it so that I suppose Kimika is coming to peace more from what she has done and all of the really regrettable actions that she has taken. Takuji is making it so that she is meeting her emotions really, and letting the guilt stop, and coming to sense of what she's done. But the only thing is, at the cost of that, at the cost of her emotions, the cost of her being able to reach emotional peace and stability, it also is the case that Sakura is, she's just being used as a means of manipulation so that Takuji's plot can become easier on him, and obviously his saviour related delusions can spread. And it's horrible that you're appearing to have such a benefit to a person and you're appearing to help them on something that is so personal, just to then completely manipulate them and make it so that they help you in your conspiracy. It's disgusting, it really is. Mamiya-sama. It's total desperation.
お前は今まで自分の存在が虫けら以下だと思ってきた。
Yeah, and look at that. Yeah. Total putting words into her mouth there. Maybe that was the case, but how did Takuji know? Why should he know? Until now, you thought you were worth less than the worms underfoot.
自分の存在価値などないと思ってきた。
You thought your existence had no value.
ブスとなじられ、デブとなじられ、虫けらとなじられ、あらゆる侮蔑を受けてきた。
You associated with the bitches, the whores, the worms, and you were scorned.
そんな自分に存在価値などないと思ってきた。
Yeah, you thought you had no value.
さらに、それを救ってくれた友人まで裏切る自分など、どこにその存在が許される理由があろうか。
Yeah, no, I can totally see that, yeah. And after you betrayed the friend who saved you, what value did your existence
だ
have?
がそれは違う。
But you were wrong.
お前には価値がある。存在理由がある。
Yeah.
だから高島はお前の代わりに死んだ。
I mean, I'm sorry, but I think if anybody was in a position like this. I just seriously don't understand how they would ever be able to say no and resist this. I mean, it is so powerfully done, and it resonates with her so personally as well. Yeah, you have value. You have a reason to exist. Oh. That's why Takashima died in your place.
救世主様
Oh, my savior.
お前には存在理由がちゃんとあるんだよ。
There is a reason for your existence.
安心するがいい。立花君。
God, no. You were not
よ
right to
く
come to
僕の
him.
元に来てくれた。
Be
これも
relieved.
また高島さんの導きであろう。
Yeah. It's evil. He's delusional, and he's fucking good at what he does. I won't deny that. He is brilliant at manipulating people, and he is dangerous. He's dangerous to anybody. I would be really, really amused to see this happen to Megu or Satoko. But not Kimika, she doesn't deserve. Actually, well, no, nobody deserves manipulation like this, even the bullies don't. Actually, I think the bullies maybe deserve it, but it's still quite hard to tell. Yeah, I do wonder what will happen with Megu and Satoko. I'll be excited to see those arseholes who are really, really nasty and just more psychologically abusive bullies, and people who are just, well, they've done so much in order just to make people's lives hell. I'll be looking forward to seeing their expressions and how Takuji messes with them. It's quite horrible in a way that this story is. It's one that. It's not only a story of just complete delusion, but it's also a story of making people who have caused havoc on Takuji and his friends' lives, just making it so that they have revenge and they taste the havoc that they have caused, really. Then again, I think this is kind of deviated from that now, and it's more just to satisfy Takuji's delusions.
ザクラの
Zakudos?
そうだ。生前。彼
That's
女は
not
僕
even
の
true
証
as
明
well.
よく僕に仕えてくれた。
Before her death, she was my servant. She was of great use to me.
ザクラが
Zakudo was?
まあ、その頃はまだ救世主としては未熟だったから、普通に
Yeah.
付き合ってたと言ってもいいんだが。
Well, I wasn't yet the savior at the time. You were actually sane. So I guess you could say we were dating. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Though I guess it was just her unrequited love for me. I never realised the truth at the time.
彼女は実際僕を救世主として覚醒させるために死んだ。
She died so that I could be awakened as the savior.
本当は僕のために死んだんだ。
So awful. The truth is she died for me.
すべて知っていたんだろう。だから恋人だった僕に内緒で死んだ。
She knew everything. That's why she kept it a secret from me, her lover, that she was going to die.
僕が救世主として目覚めるために。
So that I could awaken as the savior.
救世主様とザクラは付き合ってたんですか
My savior, you were dating Zakudo.
ああ、彼女は僕を愛してたみたいだった。
Yeah, totally, yeah.
僕はそれにうまく応えることはできなかったけどね。
Yeah, it seems she loved me, though I wasn't able to respond to her feelings very well.
ザクラが愛した人あなたがザクラの救世主
Person Zakudo loved. You're Zakudo's savior.
そうだ。僕は高島ザクロにとっても救世主だ。
Yes, I was a savior to Takashima Zakudo as well.
私
Right,
瀬川由衣。知ってるな。
you know who she is, Senagawa Yui. Yes.
高島ザクロは赤坂めぐ、北見聡子以上に
You don't even know that. Takashima Zakuro resents Senagawa Yi more than Akasaka Megu or Kitami Satoko. Yes.
そうだ。あの二人と高島桜は和解するであろう。それに僕は手を貸す気だ。
手を貸す
Help them?
二人を高島さんが許してくれるようにどうにかしてやるつもりだ。
Yeah, I intend to help them attain Takashima-san's forgiveness.
そんなことできるのですか
Can you really do that?
当たり前だ。僕を誰だと思ってるんだ。
Of course I can. Who do you think I am?
すみません
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Oh, sorry.
とりあえず二人は高島と和解するであろう。
Anyway, they may make peace with Takashima.
だけど瀬名川だけは違う。
Yeah, but Senagawa is different.
瀬名川先生は違う
Senagawa sensei is different.
ああ、そうだ。教師としていじめを容認したことを高島は恨んでいる。
Yes, Takashima resents the fact that a teacher allowed the bullying to happen.
確かにあの人は
I guess she did.
知ってたはずなのに自分にめんどくさいこと
Yeah,
が
totally.
たばらないように
I'm surprised she's not fired, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, she knew, but she didn't want to bother with it.
そうだ。
That's right.
彼女の行動を見張れ。
Watch her movements.
行動を
Movements?
あいつは明日死ぬ。
God, how stone cold did he say that? She will die tomorrow.
高島桜の呪いによって死ぬ。
She will die from Takashima Zakudo's curse.
瀬名川先生は
Yeah.
ザクロの呪いによって死ぬ
Senagawa sensei will die from Zakudo's curse.
ザクロの呪いで死ぬ
Die from Zakudo's curse.
死ぬ
Die.
死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ瀬名川死ぬ
That was a changed approach to it. What?
ザクロに殺される
Killed by Zakudo.
殺される
Killed. Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. No, isn't that interesting though? No, I think there is way more to this than has been let on. I really do wonder how she thinks of Senagawa. Maybe that could be key to cracking it. Or, potentially, there is something that we don't know about her intents. Don't know. I'm sorry, but that time when she just suddenly flicked back to a normal expression before she became really submissive to us, I do wonder. I really do wonder. Yeah, totally, yeah.
立花、少しいいか。
はい
Yeah, gosh, she just totally forgot about the fact that we were in the room as well.
彼女は明日死ぬ。
She will die tomorrow.
明日ですねわかりました
Tomorrow, got it.
ああ、そうだ。だからそれまでの時間、彼女の行動を監視してほしいんだ。
Yes, and I need you to watch her movements until then.
死ぬまでの時間の監視ですか
Surveillance until she
いや
dies.、
その直前まででいい。お前も人の死の瞬間を見るのは辛いだろう。
Yeah, fair enough. Always maintaining the illusion that he's kind and he's willing to care about her. No, you can stop at the end. It would be hard on you to watch a person die.
そんなことありませんよ大丈夫です
Not at all. I'm fine. Interesting. Yeah, totally. That is really unusual. Yeah, she was so emotional before, but then she accepted that someone was going to die without blinking. Says you.
救世主様のためでしたらどんなことがあっても平気です。
That is unusual. That really is. See, so that's why. Yeah, no, she is a cultist entirely. Yeah. Tachibana Kimika. She could be useful.
なるほど。ならばお前にこの任務は完全に任せる。
Alright. Then I'll entrust you with this mission.
はい。ご期待に添える働きをしたいと思います。
Understood. I won't let you
と
down.
りあえず、これから逐一、彼女の行動を僕にメール
This
し
is
てくれ。
so fucked
ど
up.
んな細かい行動でも、気になった行動は全部僕に報告するんだ。
Yeah. From now on, message me and tell me about all of her movements. No matter how irrelevant it may seem, report everything you notice to me. Understood.
頼んだぞ。
That's a mistake, I think. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I just want an explanation for why she brought murder weapons to the scene. When we saw everything that was going on. My servant.
キミカ、行ってまいります。
I will perform my duty. She could be a useful... I know exactly. God, it's as if he has become the bully. Or not really the bully, but... Well, the person that Well, I suppose you could think... People who use people and totally manipulate them in order to become accomplices in murder. I mean, they are kind of bullies in a way, because... Yeah, like this line effectively shows. They are being used as tools. For a certain activity to get done. They're not being treated as actual human beings. Suddenly obtaining a loyal servant like this must have been oh, fuck off. This is great. My mother was so kind. I didn't expect her to arrange this. Jesus Christ's meeting with the apostles could only be called fate. God, he even thinks himself of as somebody who is as big as Jesus. Yeah, it could also be a necessary coincidence for the Saviour. The first disciple, Tachibana Kimika. The woman who betrayed Takashima Zakuro. Though I thought she was hiding something in her right hand at first. Yeah, what is that? I really do wonder. Or maybe that could have been a paranoia-induced delusion? I think it's very unlikely, though. I don't like to rule stuff like that out until I've seen actual evidence. I think that's potentially a bad way of thinking. Something like this. I convinced myself as I sat in front of my computer. This would be the first message. Yep. Oh god, yeah, 1 hour later this would be sent. Yeah, god, isn't this a masterpiece? This one doesn't just say it hurts. No, it says you allowed it to hurt. Without you, there wouldn't have been any permissions for it to hurt. Nothing would have ever developed. Yeah, this one is the only one. This one is only being sent to Senagawa. I won't send this one to Akasaka Megu or Kitami Satoko. Yeah, totally. It's curse mail just for that teacher. She'll know fear like she's never known before. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But I need to do some fine tuning to corner her. Yeah. Yeah, I have a person reporting her every move. In that way, Tachibana Kimika became my servant at the perfect time, my loyal servant. I'll make her watch Senagawa and report her every move. I'll use every message from her to fine-tune the contents of the... God. Yeah, I'll lead her to my... Totally, yeah. A sacrifice so that I may become the saviour. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, that'll be a nice part to begin with tomorrow. That was interesting, that conversation with Ayana in the beginning. I mean, my god. That really was quite something. Well, yeah, that was really quite something today. I mean, my god. We saw quite a lot. Obviously, we saw that really weird anomaly of within the conversation about Takuji's, well, his sermon, as he likes to put it. Firstly, seeing Kagami not there but Yuki, and also seeing that argument with Kagami the day before, and also seeing the fact that Kagami is... I don't know. I really do wonder how this theory with boundary lines ties in with everything. Obviously, it was interesting about Ayana. I do wonder what's going to happen with her. Because we've stopped seeing Ayana and we have totally declined her existence, what's happening to Riruru, I wonder. And also, another question is, I really do wonder what's going to happen with Kimika. I do wonder just how much of a piece of shit she is. Is she good? Is she bad? Or is she... She's either a really, really genius person who plans to kill Takuji, but I don't really know. It seems unlikely because of... She just doesn't really seem like the person who would go that far low to commit murder. But maybe she'll reinterpret Takuji's actions and realise how insane they were. And then maybe she will want to do it. Who knows? It's really hard to tell, honestly. But, yeah, also... I think the operation Takuji's doing in order to become the saviour, it's only going to get more and more ugly. So obviously it's only going to get more and more interesting. So, yeah. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching and, yeah, see ya.